Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Hope everyone's well wherever you are. It's rather dim here in the UK. I've actually had to put the light on, even though it's only 10:30 in the morning. Anywho, I'll say please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section, and if you're new, please consider subscribing and supporting the channel. Anyway, so I've decided to make part 4 of this. Normally I do part 1, 2, and 3, but I decided it's not challenging enough to think of 30 ideas on a topic. I'll think of 40 instead. But anyway, as unfortunately I'm 40, I was 40 about just over a week ago. So anyway, I would love for Celtic as well as the town football teams to have as much investment as possible. And I thought, as Celtic were playing Real Madrid tonight, which is a massive potential classic, I thought I'd make this video. I hope, on that note, even though I love Mediterranean teams as well, especially Italian ones, but if it was an Italian team, I probably would want the Italian team to win, but just about. But yeah, I hope it'll be a great game, whatever the score is, and Celtic won't get too many injuries, or Real Madrid won't get too many injuries, and I hope both teams go through the group. So I'd love for Celtic to score, and then as Real Madrid are chasing the game, maybe Celtic to win 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-1 or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a pretty famous result, just like when Celtic beat Barcelona, and as another famous Celtic European night, which they've had with many teams, including Italian ones. So that's pretty cool, and English ones as well. So maybe if Celtic got through and then played, I was going to say Man United, but they're not. I don't mean to say that, but it would be interesting if they had Man United. Obviously, Man United aren't in the Champions League this year, but yeah, a team, maybe Liverpool or a team like that, that would be pretty interesting as well if Celtic got further. Anyway, cracking on with the video, please check out parts 1, 2, and record 3 if you're not doing so, and here goes. So number 31, again, I would love for as many potential investors to invest in Celtic as possible. A controversial idea, I would love for possibly energy companies, because our great manager, Ange Postecoglou, who's Greek-Australian, please check out his information if you haven't already done so. He's got a pretty cool career and life and that sort of thing, and he's worked through as a Greek-Australian immigrant family, which I think suits the Celtic story quite well, because Celtic are made of Irish immigrants originally. Anywho, as he said, we never stop. I think it'd be quite interesting if energy companies, and I suppose they do have a lot of money to invest, but that would be quite controversial. I imagine our more socialist fan base, which probably a lot of Celtic fans are, and probably one of the few libertarian or fairly right-wing, at least fiscally right-wing Celtic fans, but many of our fans probably wouldn't want, our socialist fans, which are probably certainly a good amount, possibly the majority, would not want energy companies, perhaps especially with the energy crisis and the energy crisis and the cost of living crisis. But I think it'd be interesting if it would be. I would welcome the investment in the money for academies and things like that, and maybe Celtic could work on that note with energy companies to look into ways to work, especially for our fans who live in Glasgow and possibly across Scotland and the rest of the UK, or maybe even around the world, to look at ways that they can fundraise to help people with the cost of energy crisis, and like work with energy companies. Maybe they can find a way to fundraise to help people with their energy bills without having to cut into the profits of energy companies. Controversial idea, I know, but at least if it helps those at the bottom, it would be great, and without having to tax or control energy companies. So maybe fundraising. Celtic could do fundraisers or work with the energy companies, and that's a good idea for the energy companies, which is an incentive for them, a potential incentive for them to invest, because it's important to look at what's in it for them. Moving on, because I've covered that point in quite detail, but yeah, as I say, I think each one, it would be good if I could, maybe I'll do a video in the future, or a few videos in the future, a version of this for what's in it for those companies. But yeah, obviously if they work with Celtic, maybe they can improve their image, and say they'll do like help to organise football fundraisers to help people pay for their bills and things like that, from the lowest paid economic groups, or whatever it's called, disadvantaged groups, shall we say, and also especially for disabled people and other disadvantaged groups, and also especially for Celtic fans themselves, which will hopefully benefit Celtic fans. But also, I hope they're investing in academies, and to improve their image, perhaps invest in youth academies, especially in Glasgow, Scotland, which is quite a deprived area. Moving on, 32. I would love for energy drinks, food and energy drinks companies, or food and drink companies generally, but especially energy companies like Monster, Red Bull, and Relentless. I think there's an energy drink called Relentless. Someone described Celtic as relentless, so I thought that would be an interesting idea. Although I suppose they are rivals, so it would probably be a bit hard to see those rival companies invest in Celtic. Personally, as a Celtic fan, I would love it because the investment money would help the club on and off the pitch, including investing in better players, even better players, because we've got some awesome players at the moment, but and we're doing well at the moment, but I don't want to be complacent. I want to keep going, as I say, not stopping. What's my thoughts? Yeah, I'd welcome that investment, as I say, and also it would help with the foundation of the charity work they do as well. Although, I mean, I know some people might not think these companies are the most ethical, but anyway, I should be careful what I say about them. They are pretty, if they invest in Celtic, they're pretty awesome companies. Number 33, I would love to hear from fellow Celtic fans, as well as town football fans, as always, like what, or even football fans generally, about who you would like to invest in your club, but especially Italian and Celtic fans, Italian football and Celtic fans, like who would you like to see invest in your club, in this case, Celtic. Number 34, again, as many companies as possible, as I mentioned before, like Fortune 500 companies, even multi-billionaires, and people like that, sovereign wealth funds and that sort of thing, as I've covered before. Number 35, also, I didn't remember my train of thought. As a I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. But yeah, as many companies as possible, and including like McDonalds and Mars, as I talked before last night about how I'd love for AC Milan and Inter Milan to get investment from companies like that, especially for football in the community. In this case, I wouldn't really want Rangers to benefit, but young people in Glasgow benefiting would be great. Generally, maybe some of them could be like, as a gesture of goodwill, even football academies that we welcome for anyone in Glasgow, whatever team they support. But I hope it will benefit Celtic as much as possible. Number 36, I'd say maybe like Gaelic and Celtic parties, not just supporting Celtic in terms of politically supporting the club, in terms of like gaining state government aid for like investing in football pitches, which will help young people in Scotland, and tax exemptions, which will hopefully encourage investment and things like that, but also in terms of maybe investing some of their own money from their party in terms of helping, let's say, academies and training opportunities for young people in Scotland, as it would, especially in Glasgow, as it would benefit the community as well as benefiting Celtic. And looking at what Celtic have contributed to Scotland, which I know has already been looked into. Number 37, once again, hopefully as some investors come in, hopefully more will be encouraged to invest in great Celtic club. Number 38, I would love for people from Italy to invest in Italian teams and possibly Celtic as well, and have that connection, and especially wealthier people in Italy. And maybe like also fans could donate. I'd love to hear as well, as a Celtic fan, what percentage of your income or salary, dare I ask, would you be prepared to donate to the club if you knew it was involved in improving better, buying even better players, as I say, and investing in the academies and whatever other costs the club has. It's a bit of a controversial question, perhaps, because I know some fans might say we don't have enough, much money, but I'd love to hear from different fans as well. Some might say I wouldn't be prepared. Some might say I wouldn't be prepared to put any money in because I'm struggling at the moment financially anyway. Or some might say, yeah, I'd be prepared to put 10 or even more, like even 20% or whatever, if it meant the club would win, because it means so much to so many people, I'm sure. Number 39, I hope, as I say, as the if people Google and go on to Twitter and YouTube and other things like that, other forms of social media, and help Celtic to go viral or trending, hopefully for positive reasons, it will encourage more investment and increase the share of brand and value. And in time, more and more companies will invest. Even once I thought, wow, I never expect them to invest in Celtic. But I'd say I'd love to see as much investment as possible, so we can buy the best possible players, invest in the youth, maybe develop some more homegrown players, and also players from disadvantaged backgrounds, to say, or people from countries, developing countries, basically, like in parts of Kenya, helping with the academies in those countries, like Nigeria as well, Cameroon, having countries, academies in all possible countries across Africa, all 54, 55 countries across Africa, and similar for all possible countries in Asia, the Americas, and possibly even for indigenous people in Australasia and the Americas, and also Latin America, Ireland, and all over the world, really, especially, as I say, in developing or emerging market economies and countries. And number 40, again, as much investment as possible. Again, I'd love to hear from fans like who you would like to invest in the club, what Celtic means to you, how much of your own money would you be prepared to donate to the club even, or at least invest in the club, possibly even donate, if you knew that, again, it was going to benefit the club and the club was going to spend it well. Yeah, hopefully this video wasn't too cringeworthy and I didn't waffle too much. I know I might have repeated a few ideas, but I thought as I'm 40, symbolically, I'll make, instead of a 3-part video, I'll make a 4. And I have a terrible feeling I didn't count the ideas properly, but I think I did. And I am out. Peace and love.